Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another spine-tingling and head-scratching episode of Insane Disappearances. I got another story for you today. This one is about William Marshall Sisco Jr. Try saying that 3 times fast. He went missing on 6/12/94 in Happy Valley, Arizona. He was 32 when he disappeared. He was like 6'1", 165 pounds. Now, William Sisco and his prospecting friends were in a remote area near Happy Valley and adjacent to the Saguaro National Park. On the evening of June 12, 1994, Williams said that he was ready to leave. His friends said that they weren't ready to leave, so he decided to take off by himself and leave. He was never seen again. Now, the law enforcement said that they felt like he met with some foul play, and he died of exposure in the desert. Now, his body was never recovered or never found. Now, here's where I come in with my own theory and why I feel like that assumption is wrong. Because, first of all, if you disappeared in the desert, we're looking at buzzards. Buzzards love raw or dead meat. Now, naturally, if you are in the desert and you die in the desert, buzzards are going to be coming after your butt and they're going to chomp at your body until there's probably nothing left. Now, if there's any wildlife out there, like, I don't know, mountain lions, maybe, I don't know what would be out there in the desert. I've never been to the desert. But if you are being chomped at by a buzzard or whatever, there's going to be some remains out there. And they said the body was never recovered, it was never found. So, trust me, he didn't die in the desert from exposure to all the heat. I can guarantee you that. I got another story for you. This one is about Donald Kenneth Shelenberger. Donald Kenneth Shelenberger. He went missing on 07/03/94 in Mount Lemmon, Tucson, Arizona. He was at the age of 35 when he disappeared. He was 5'11", 160 pounds. Now, Donald Shelenberger was making arrangements to meet a friend on Mount Lemmon in the northeast section of Tucson, Arizona. I'm sorry, I didn't even pronounce that Tucson. Sorry about that. Okay, now they were going to meet and hike the mountain. Donald was never seen again. Details about this case are few. Now, same type of case, you know, he was supposed to be meeting a friend, and on the way there, he disappeared without a trace. Very, very scary. Now, like he said, there's very little information about the case because, like I said, when people are meeting up with someone else and they're supposed to meet at a certain point, very often in these cases, they tend to vanish without a trace on the way to the place where they're supposed to meet their friends. So something happened to them between point A and halfway to point B. You know, what that something is, I don't know. I mean, even if they were to put like tracking cameras in the area, they'll probably see him walking, you know, towards an area, but he'll somehow always disappear off camera, you know, every single time. So, these kind of cases are just straight up weird, you know, because you can never figure out what happened. And the crazy part is everybody is always trying to add their own assumption to why they disappeared, and they always say stuff like, well, they succumbed to the elements, or they died of exposure, it was hypothermia, it was accidental drowning, all kinds of crazy stuff that make no sense when you look at the evidence and the facts, you know, and the profile. but they tend to ignore that part. That's the crazy part, out of all of this, because they see that there's something weird going on here, and they see that it's really unexplainable as far as who did it, why they're doing it, and where did these people go. Because when they are found in certain areas, shouldn't have been no way for them to even get there, because it was probably rough terrain, or it was just unreachable, on foot, but somehow they always end up there, and the question is how and why, so that's, my best guess on that. And I got another one here. This one is about Abraham Kalaf, or Kalaf. Not sure about that. Oh, I probably butchered that name, so I apologize. Now he went missing on 7/24/96 in Gleeson, Arizona. He was 79 and 5'8", 185 pounds. Now Abraham Kalaf, sorry about that, was the supervisor of a drilling team working in an isolated region between Tucson and Gleeson, Arizona on July 24, 1996. He left Tucson and headed for the site. He never made it to the site and was reported missing. In October, his 1989 Dodge Ram pickup was located stuck in rugged mountains, 17 miles from the drill site. All of Abraham's personal items, checks, and work items were in the vehicle. Authorities responded to the scene, found tape in the area that appeared to be placed by Abraham as an indication of what direction he walked. Law enforcement followed the path, which led towards Dragon Mountains. At one point, the path changed direction and headed towards civilization. As the trail started to evaporate, law enforcement brought in significant resources, but were unable to find Abraham. Now that right there is one heck of a creepy brain scratcher, because they got confirmation on where he was going, what trail he was walking on, because he marked it, which is a very good thing for any hiker to do, because you got to mark the territory that you're traveling in, so that anyone can see where you're going, or see where you were going to. Marking trees with like a knife or something like that, but he used like tape so that he could properly find his way back. But like I said before, somewhere between point A and point B, that's when he disappeared, and he disappeared without a trace. So, obviously he's an avid hiker. Well, not an avid hiker, but he of course he was on the drill team, but still he obviously knew what he was doing. Knew what he was doing when it came to hiking into an area. Even though he walked to it, but he still had to hike, I'm pretty sure. Now, like I said, law enforcement, they followed the path and the markings that he made with the tape. So they was able to see where he was actually going, but where the drill site, he never showed up to it. So where he went or who took him is like anybody's best guess, because people, like I said, always say stuff like, I know he was abducted. Okay, abducted by who? There is no kidnapper I know of, since I've been watching TV, that can take someone and not leave any evidence whatsoever. I'm talking hair fragments, any kind of DNA, pieces of clothing that you were wearing may have gotten hung or caught on some branches or something like that, and you're walking through rough terrain. And it says right here, his vehicle was found. Excuse me. I'm sorry. His vehicle. Let me see. It said his vehicle was found Well, it was found in the mountains, you know. So, but it was found in rugged mountains, you know. So, like I said, it was in some rough territory, you know. So, there are stories about people who tend to say stuff like they just got to get out of the car, you know. So, whatever was out there, it somehow plants these things in their head to make them think that they have to get out of the car because they want them to, and they want to take them and use them for whatever reason they want to use them for. I don't know what that is. It could be a mass breeding camp on another planet or on another Earth or another dimension. It could be they may need their intelligence for whatever the reason. I don't know. It could be anything. You know, I mean, they didn't find any bone fragments on the ground, so that means that whoever this guy wasn't eaten, so that's a good thing. You know, there's been a lot of cases where people have been eaten, and none of that don't even make any sense because there's no blood, there's no guts, there's no nothing. When you see a bone fragments on the ground, it's usually half of a skeleton or part of a skeleton or maybe the whole skeleton somewhere like that. You know, but you don't find any of that. You don't find nothing but more mystery and more questions about what happened to this person. You know, and that's the part that we really need to focus on. I still say it, even though the facts and the evidence and the profile points lead you to, you know, it leads you to think these things, you know, as to what happened. Because you can say it, you just don't want to, you know. That's the bad part, because if a person was kidnapped in a way that leaves no type of evidence or no kind of trail or anything, it's not a human. It's not. It could be some type of intelligent creature that thinks like a human. It could be people from another dimension, another Earth, another time. It could be people from another planet. We don't know. But the evidence shows that there is something weird going on. And just saying, you know, my son was kidnapped or whoever, or my sibling was kidnapped, I know that it's very hard for any person, especially a parent or even a sibling, to believe there's something other than a person. Human being took their relative or their friend. Trust me, there's a lot more about this planet that we don't even know about. I'm just now starting to find out about a lot of things myself that I never knew, you know. But the only problem is there's no evidence to back all that up, except for maybe some hieroglyphics, you know, in Egypt. You know, like, okay, that model plane that they found in one of the tombs. How is it that they knew anything about planes back then? The Wright brothers were the ones that created the very first airplane. You know, it was a single. It was more like a hang glider, but an earlier version. At the same time, they're the ones that created the plane in the first place. They're the ones that took first flight. So I don't know what to tell you, but like I said, there's a lot of weird stuff going on out there, and I don't want to be a part of it. To be honest, I really don't. I mean, I enjoy doing what I'm doing with these videos. Like I said, I want to make people very aware of what's really going on in our national parks and make them aware that if something was to happen, the National Park Service will cover it up as quick as possible. You know, but like I said, now these are words coming from David Paulides himself. Make sure you carry a gun, a licensed gun, a personal locator transponder, and you should be fine. You know, as he said that a lot of the people that have carried these things were never taken, but the ones that didn't were. But let me see. One of the quotes I had made about the stuff dealing with these cases was actually said by I was talking about an overreaching intelligence. There was a man named I can't remember his name right now, but he was the one that said that. You know, I was just repeating. I had it in my head a couple of days ago. I can't think of his name right now. But anyway, Anyway, I'm sorry, I can't think of it right now. But yeah, oh yeah, and information on that little boy I told you about that disappeared right here in Georgia. I did some more digging, and what it was a young 2-year-old boy, a young African American boy who was dumped into the woods by his own mother. Apparently, his mother had a lot of charges on her in the past by doing stuff like that. I forgot exactly what those charges were, but she obviously didn't want her own child, and so she dumped him in the woods, and they found him with no scratches, no marks on him or anything. But what it was, she went back and placed him in an area where they could find him. But yeah, that's all I got down for right now on these cases, in the story. So once again, I will read more of the cases and the stories, and I will post the videos soon. So stay tuned, guys. Be safe out there. Peace.